You've always mentioned there's like this holy shit feature. So like, what is that? Tell me what that is. For people that don't know.
I guess I want to tell like a little personal anecdote for this one. We had a visitor a couple of weeks ago who came to see the car at our warehouse, and they stood silently for the first 10 seconds. And then they gathered their strength to say how much they liked the car, but instead of saying anything at all, the guy started crying. So that's the holy shit feature. When you see the car, you're completely just, you go into a mental shutdown because it looks so amazing and has so much presence.
You're listening to My Supercar World, a Post Oak Motor Cars production from Houston, Texas.
Hello, everybody. Diane Kaplan here with My Supercar World.
And Lonnie Souza, and welcome to another episode.
Well, I'm excited today because we have been trying to get our schedules aligned, and we're so excited to have Sasha and Inna from NILU 27 Hypercars.
Hello, guys. Welcome to the show.
Hi, guys. Thank you for having us.
Yes.
Yeah, happy to be here.
I know. So are y'all in the same location?
Yeah.
Yeah, we are. We are in the LA area.
Yeah, but like two different rooms in the house? Or
Pretty much.
Pretty much, yeah.
Well, we're happy to have both of you on. And I know that your time is precious because of all the projects you have going on. But if you don't mind, we can just kind of dive right into it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell us.
do it.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to know from you guys. I mean, gosh, first of all, how did you two meet, and how long have you been together?
I guess I'll take this one. It's been a minute. I think in March, it'll be 25 years that we've been together. So it's quite a while. And we met actually through our families. Our families are friends. My uncle went to school with Sasha's parents, and when Sasha moved out to the U.S. As a 17-year-old, my uncle was his legal guardian, and he was just at his house frequently, and that's when we met. I was still in high school back then. Sasha had just started college. We were both 17 years old, and and here we are, 25 years later.
Well, congratulations on your journey together for as long as it's been, 25 years. Wow.
I know.
Yeah,
so
crazy.
awesome.
Absolutely crazy.
So do you both share the same passion for cars? I mean, who got into this first?
No, it was primarily Inna. I kind of
I love it.
piggybacked on that.
Good one, Sasha.
No, I'm certainly the car guy here, and I remember the first time Inna saw a few supercars in front of my college where I went to school. We had a kind of a car show early 2000s, and she was like, "I don't like this car," pointing at the Countach. "It looks fat." And I'm like, well, that's actually a good thing. It looks, beefy and massive and wide and stancy. And it was a long journey, but I successfully converted her into a car girl now, I guess, after 25 years.
Welcome to the party, Inna.
Thank you.
Okay.
Exactly. Yeah. So, I mean, I know y'all's background. Y'all used to work together, though, correct? Yeah, because,
right.
You're like in the marketing side, and then, Sasha's on the design side. I mean, how long did y'all work together? Like at other companies and stuff?
Yeah, I think it was probably about 6 years in total that we worked. I wouldn't say necessarily together, but for the same companies,
Right.
Especially when we worked at Genesis, Hyundai Genesis. That's a huge company,
Right.
and our paths kind of infrequently crossed, I would say, while we were there, because it's kind of siloed,
Right.
the way big corporations are. So design and marketing weren't always in the same place.
Right.
At Koenigsegg, we did interact much more because that's just a smaller company, and that's the nature of it.
Right.
So yeah, about 6 years in total, officially.
Wow.
Okay, so you'll have to kind of give me a timeline. You can go quick. What does your history in the automotive look like? Where did you start and kind of to get to where you're at now? Both of you.
Well, I guess I'll start then because I have a little bit more history on the automotive side. While Inna was in and out of the industry, I don't have any way out. I was pretty much in the whole entire time. So got a job at well, graduated college, had a few offers, got a job at Volkswagen, or chose a job at Volkswagen in Germany, and we moved to Berlin straight after college. Inna graduating UCLA, and I graduated from Art Center College of Design. So we decided together to move to Berlin. I started my career at VW, and for the first few years was working primarily on Volkswagen cars, regular passenger cars, and then some of my work on the sports car side got noticed, and I got an opportunity to go to Lamborghini for the Huracan project. So that was my second kind of after Volkswagen second appointment with Lamborghini for a couple of years, flying back and forth between Berlin and Bologna, Sant'Agata Bolognese, and then 2 years there. After that, Bugatti kicked off, and my work was noticed for that brand as well, and I got an opportunity to design for them. That was about 8 years in total, Bugatti, although officially on my resume looks like a bit less because I only got my official Bugatti contract down the road, but still with Volkswagen contract it was possible to work for Bugatti. For some of the listeners who may not know, both Lamborghini and Bugatti belong to the Volkswagen concern,
Right.
to the group. So, with a mothership contract, it was not that big of a deal to join the sister companies and daughter companies and to work for them. So that was Bugatti chapter. Chiron came out of that. Vision Gran Turismo came out of that. There was a couple of other projects I'm proud of that never made it to the road, like the 2015 Atlantique. Diesel scandal happened at the very end of my time at Bugatti, and everything went haywire. And Inna and I, at this point in time, also decided that we were ready for a new chapter in our lives. So I left Volkswagen Group, left my Bugatti contract, and both of us joined Genesis. So that was 3 years of our lives. On the marketing side, myself on the design side. I was heading up advanced design globally for Genesis with a studio in Frankfurt, and Inna was instrumental in bringing the brand to Europe. She was in the marketing team, managing the market entry to the European market for Genesis. Yeah, so after 3 years at Genesis, we were ready for another change. I got a job at Koenigsegg heading up design. Inna got a job at Koenigsegg leading marketing team. And both of us joined the company for 3 years. It was a very fruitful time and the second chapter of our collaboration. Leaving Koenigsegg, we decided to still continue working together, started our own design and branding consultancy, first in Berlin and then in Los Angeles, and eventually the NILU 27, our hypercar company, which was always the ultimate dream. So every step before that was a stepping stone towards that dream,
Well,
for me at least.
Again, another congratulations on your journey. Wow.
Wow.
I mean, Diane's going to take it from here with the questions about the car. But are you still doing, before we get to that, are you still doing your consulting, marketing and design consulting as well?
Yeah, we absolutely are. And that company is called Hardline 27. So 27 is kind of the red thread between the company names as my personal mascot. And in about 3 years of operation, we had roughly 30 clients. So on average, 10 clients a year. And we've done a lot of really cool stuff for tech companies, for automotive OEMs, startups. I would say about 60-70% of the work is sports cars, but there's also a really nice selection of other types of projects that allows myself and my design team to be a little bit more open-minded. I think if we were just working on a NILU or just working on hypercars, I would be missing a little bit of that kind of opportunity to be creative and step outside my comfort zone every once in a while.
Amazing. I love that. I think that's a whole nother segment.
I know, right?
But we'll definitely come back to that if we have time. But I'm going to let Diane kick off with the questions about your
Yeah.
project.
I mean, I know you've always had that dream. Y'all have always wanted to start, have your own hypercar. But what does it mean to have like an all analog hypercar? What does that mean to you, especially in this landscape with so much out there right now?
Well, I mean, the idea has been with me for about 20 years now for this kind of car. And I remember with my 20 years ago, I was a young designer, was pretty angry about a lot of stuff. So I had a Angry Car Designers blog was the name of my website, and a lot of people read it. It was popular kind of amongst the industry folk, and I did write a little manifesto there 20 years ago how form should always follow function and how things should be much more simple and clear, and that the post of mine got a lot of attention, got a lot of comments, and then I designed a car that would be kind of driven by those first principles, basically, and that eventually became the NILU. So that design has been around for almost 20 years now, from the early days of my design career, where I felt that already then the industry was veering off towards, first of all, a very fake approach where things look like something but don't actually work. There's a lot of fake vents, a lot of fake details, a lot of fake performance bits on sports cars, which to me were kind of borderline offensive. I felt even more passionate about it when I was in my 20s. Right now, I guess I've calmed down a little bit. But back then, I was really upset about all the fakery. And I was also upset about how technology was making cars easy to drive and effortless and convenient and jacks of all trades. And that was basically the gist of that early day kind of post that I did in that design. And it's just great to kind of revisit that 20 years later, when I actually feel like a lot of my frustrations, a lot of the things I felt so upset about, if anything, they got worse over time. Back then in 2005 and 6, we didn't have ubiquitous hybrids, EVs, and smart technology and AI. And don't get me wrong, I feel great about all those technologies when they apply to regular commuter vehicles, but I do think they take away from the heart and soul of a super sports car. And especially watching Formula One in the 90s and GT1 racing as well towards the second half of the 90s, and then having all of that become neutered and substituted with efficiency and fuel flow targets and all that other stuff that dominates motorsport today. I certainly felt like old school was far more emotional and far more exciting. So yeah, what does it feel like to create an all analog hypercar? Actually pretty surreal, because we're using the most modern digital technology to create the most digital less product we can possibly create.
Right.
So it's an interesting mix where we are, on the one hand, incredibly high tech when it comes to our development and our modeling and our kind of lightweighting and structural analysis and CFD work, and just in general the analysis work that is done is cutting edge, tons of AI, tons of computational power required. But we are designing a timeless mechanical watch effectively. So it's an interesting way to approach this project, which also separates it from the way all analog cars were done in the 90s, because that was even pre-digital age. Those cars were drawn by hand, and all the technical drawings were basically draftsmen working on full-size kind of drawings. But now we're using all this advanced tech to come up with back to the roots product.
Right. So I mean, so far, like what, and y'all both can pipe in here on this one, but what has been like the biggest challenge starting a hypercar company? Is it like the funding? Is it the regulations? Is it the engineering, like scaling? What's so far, or is it all of it?
I see Inna nodding.
Yeah, she's like,
I got this.
Yeah. I was going to be like, keep going, Diane. It's all of it. It's
all
really
of it.
all of it. Yes. I think initially our kind of biggest challenge was, where do you start, right? It's a huge monumental task to build not just a car, but a brand that has to compete with Bugatti and Pagani and Koenigsegg. So how do you even start tackling that, and from what angle? So it's really been it's a lot of challenges from all different directions. I think funding has been a challenge, maybe in a way that we didn't anticipate. We did get offers for funding from the early days on, but it's been the challenge has been choosing the right partners at the right time. So ultimately, we've had to turn down a number of funding opportunities because it either wasn't the right people or the conditions weren't right. And we decided to go more of the way self-funded than we had initially planned. So as of today, we're almost still fully self-funded. We just recently started bringing in minority shareholders. So it's really, 90% of what you've seen has been self-funded, but it's the
I
regulations
think
are
more like
an ever
95%. Yeah.
okay, 95%. Regulations are also definitely a challenge, and it's challenging because it's evolving. They're not fixed in place today. So we do have to future-proof our
Right.
cars as well to ensure that they are not only relevant for today, but in 10 and 20 years' time as well. So it's a lot of challenges, and that's what keeps us on our toes. And that's what we love, I guess. Or
Well,
I don't know,
you
or
probably
maybe
have
we're
to be
just
very nimble. You have to be very nimble in what, because when are you planning to
I
go?
can tell a little anecdote on that whole nimble side of things. So we've been with I've been with big companies at Monterey Car Week. I've been with smaller companies in Monterey Car Week. Bigger companies would be, let's say, going there with Genesis or even with Bugatti, and you arrive and you have your schedule printed out, and you only have a couple of appointments you need to show up for. You show up, everything is there, everything is ready. You do your bit, and then you go. Smaller companies, let's say we're going out there with a scrappier company like Koenigsegg, everybody works the show stand, everybody unloads the truck, everybody kind of mans the booth, it's just there's no distinction. Everybody is there as a team and working together. And then finally last year with NILU, it was just Inna and I, and that's a whole different experience. You're running around searching for sandbags so your beach flags don't fall over. You're trying to scrape dirt off of the presentation floor to make sure it looks presentable. The car has been stopped somewhere by, I don't know, securities who won't let them through. So you're calling the security, they're not answering. The car is delayed, people are waiting, car arrives, there's something broken. So the whole experience of being, let's say, founders of a hypercar company in our first year of operations without the team in place, that was a whole different level of, I didn't even know how much harder it could get. And it got exponentially harder. So yeah, it's tough. I did get messages from industry people saying things like, well, we hope you're suffering right now because they went through it before and they know exactly what it feels like. So yeah, it was every bit of success that you eventually get, you pay for with quite literally with your own blood, sweat, and tears, very literally. So
Yeah.
definitely not an easy experience.
But you're fortunate though, because I'm assuming you took a lot of what both of y'all learned from Bugatti and Koenigsegg and stuff. So you how do you take that experience and that knowledge to improve upon not only the car, but just kind of how you're running your brand and your company, I would assume, it's got to be
absolutely
huge to have that background.
Absolutely. This is what we studied a lot, what our predecessors did. And so, on the one hand, we comforted ourselves with saying that if they did it, so can we, because we're starting out not from scratch, but with 20 years of experience in the industry. And the other comforting thought was that a lot of what we're doing now, we've done before, just not under the umbrella of our own brand. So it's not wholly new to us. There are only a few elements that are completely new, but most of it has been tried and tested and done, and it's really not our first rodeo. But it's bringing it all together now. That's the tricky bit.
So you guys have told us about your work history and your experience in other car companies, and then opening up your own firm, which led you to designing your own supercar. Tell us about that. What is the car? What is the name of the vehicle? And when are we going to see it on the road?
Yeah, the car is called the NILU. Company is called NILU 27. The NILU is a bit like our first self-titled album, so we did not want to introduce more new words into the equation. This is our first car, so it's self-titled. When are we going to see it? Well, we debuted last year at Monterey Car Week at Pebble Beach at the awards ramp. What?
2 years ago.
It was 2?
Sorry.
Yeah.
Well, 2. Yeah. No. Sorry.
What?
2024. Sorry.
2024. Yeah, because it's Sonoma. We saw it at
You're
Sonoma.
living in the future, I guess, now.
I'm just thinking 2 Monterey's. Okay. Yeah. Sorry.
Right.
2024. Yeah.
Last year at Monterey Car Week, we debuted our show car. It was very well received. We are definitely industry insiders, so we have a lot of people that have supported us and have showed up for us at the Monterey Car Week last year. So it was a fantastic debut. Tough, but super rewarding. And right at this point in time, we're working on the driving prototype. We have our sights set for next year for the debut of the driving prototype. A lot of things are falling into place as we speak, and yeah, we're very excited about the future. We hope to have our first customer cars available in 2 years' time, and road legal, road certified cars available shortly after that.
Very exciting.
And then remind me again, how many you're going to produce of this
We're
first?
producing 15 units that are not road certified, but they are 100% true to the original vision. Means on the emission side, we're going to take some compromises there, but not on the safety side, so just the emissions. And then we're producing 54 units that are both fully emissions compliant, safety compliant, and road certified. So in total, that's 69 cars for what we call the NILU in two distinct variants, the OG, which is the original, and the worldwide road car, which will have the certification.
So since you're building such a small quantity, are you mandated by certain like homologation? Do you have to crash testing?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Really?
Yeah. There's in the United States, for example, there are absolutely no exemptions, so they don't care how few you're making.
Okay.
If you want to be on the road, you got to fulfill a whole bunch of conditions in the same way that GM, Ford, and Toyota have to fulfill. So there's really no shortcuts in the US. In Europe, there is a small series exemption that we're aiming for, which sounds great because that makes it seem like it's something that is easy. It's not. It only exempts out of 100 items, maybe 10. So you're still kind of with a list of 92 do's on your car to make sure that it's allowed to be on the road. The laws are only ever getting more stringent. There is never a situation where they say, "Oh, we were too strict before. How about we give you guys a pass on this?"
Right.
The trend is definitely for tougher regulations. Some of them make sense. I mean, nobody wants to get hurt or nobody wants to hurt anybody around them. So I totally stand behind the safety aspects. But on the emission side, when you are really making a handful of cars, it seems like a little bit of an unnecessary challenge to go through the same rigorous level of emission certification that a company that makes literally 5 million cars a year has to go through.
Right.
Interesting. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to ask kind of back to the car because I always like to talk about the car part. So you've always mentioned there's like this holy shit feature. So like, what is that? Tell me what that is. For people that don't know.
I guess I want to tell like a little personal anecdote for this one. We had a visitor a couple of weeks ago who came to see the car at our warehouse, and they stood silently for the first 10 seconds. And then they gathered their strength to say how much they liked the car. But instead of saying anything at all, the guy started crying. So that's the holy shit feature. When you see the car, you're completely just, you go into a mental shutdown because it looks so amazing and it has so much presence and it has so much drama. And that's not just from the looks. It has to be the engine sound. It has to be the haptic, the oral, the, visual, the smell, like the entire... all your every single one of your sensory inputs has to be overwhelmed with what you see in front of you. This is not a car that is an understatement. It is definitely an extrovert car. However, we are also, let's say, setting our sights on good taste. So while it is extroverted, it's not overloaded with unnecessary decoration and detail. The statement itself, the proportions, the volumes, starting from the exterior into the interior and all the way to the driving experience. And we call it the holy shit factor because we're taking the inspiration from probably the greatest there ever was in that department, the Countach. The Countach really did have that effect when it first came out, and it still to this day stops people in their tracks. And the word Countach actually means holy shit in Piedmontese dialect. So when people saw that car, that was the exclamation, and it stuck to the car, and that's the name of the car. In our case, we borrow the sentiment, and we would love for people to experience it firsthand.
Wow. Well, my holy shit thought in that whole conversation, or the one previous, was the fact that during the homologation, you got to crash a couple of these things.
Yeah, there is that.
Have you? Are you prepared for that yet?
Well, we are preparing for that. We're building our first let's say, crashable monocoque this fall and this winter, and we hope to have it ready by springtime to start driving with it and eventually run some crashes on it too.
Unbelievable.
That's
Wow.
the physical preparation, but we
Right.
have to morally prepare as well. And
Right.
that preparation has not yet started.
Right.
Oh my
Can
God.
imagine.
Exactly where is the factory? Like
We're
where
setting things up in a little city called Lahr in
Okay.
Germany.
Okay.
So Germany was a strategic choice that we chose for a number of reasons. Initially, we actually wanted to set up shop in the U.S., but for a number of reasons, we veered towards Germany in the end. So it's, Sasha and I lived in Germany for 15 years. We
Right.
speak the language. Our network is there. Our CFO and CTO come from Germany, so they're on their home turf there. We're close to all of the suppliers. We're going to be near the French border there. We have access to airport that's not really used. So we have testing facilities, and we have a lot of support from the mayor of the city.
that's
So that's where we're going to be, Lahr.
So you'll relocate from LA back over there once things are going, or do you think you'll still live? Like,
We're going to still live in LA and Lahr. So we're going to be in between. We do want to keep LA as a home base for our kids because it's just hectic and crazy to take them out again and replant them back into Germany. So for their sake, we don't want to do that, but we're just going to have to be in between until at least they graduate from high school.
right. Right. And then I think the next time we're going to see the prototype will be at the Las Vegas Concourse, correct?
That's right. Yeah. So we are bringing the concept car to Las Vegas, but this year it's going to look a little different. So we are changing the spec. Stay tuned for that. I think it's going to be something exciting.
Oh my God, I can't wait to see it.
So we know obviously your current project is probably all consuming, but are you already planning ahead for future projects, other iterations, different price points?
So we definitely have a roadmap for the future. We're not building this brand as kind of a one-car brand. There are exciting plans of what we can do going forward with both this platform and a couple of ideas on the next generation platforms as well. So there's a lot of exciting plans, but they are for now on the back burner because we're 100% committed to building this first vehicle and making it our best and making it our kind of brand's manifesto. You have to come out with a killer album as your debut album, obviously, to make sure that people fall in love with your message and stick around for the longer haul. But we do have plans, very serious plans, and I have more ideas of exciting, holy shit infused cars than Lifetime will allow me to bring to the road. So there's definitely no shortage of dreams, plans, and ideas. But right now, all the commitment is on that first car.
That's awesome. I mean, where do you see hypercars going in the next 5-10 years? I mean, where do you see? I always try to get this feedback too. Do you really think ever that hypercars will ever go electric as well?
No, I don't, because ultimately, as much as the kind of let's say horses used to be ubiquitous, it became a niche thing, but they still are around and people love their horses and they spend time with their horses and they race their horses. It's going to be the same thing with internal combustion cars. I don't think they're ever going to fully disappear. Probably the environment, the concerns for the environment and the economic situation and supply chain and kind of the way car companies are set up to operate is going to take them more into the EV territory with every passing year, every passing decade, and finally they'll be almost fully doing EVs. But there'll still be an enthusiast community that embraces the old school way of driving and the old school emotion of driving. And in that community, I think both sports cars and hypercars, supercars, the whole entire plethora of cars that are built for joy, not for solving a problem and not for commuting daily, but cars that really bring a smile to your face.
Right.
Those will survive. I hope that there's still enough affordable products in that world that enthusiasts, regardless of their income, can enjoy. But hypercars, if we're speaking of those, I think they will definitely survive. They're now seen as an art collectible, quite often as an investment opportunity, and people who buy them love them and cherish them and collect them, and I don't see that going away. Hopefully there is still a loophole somewhere in the laws and regulations that allows these cars to be driven every once in a while on public roads. Whenever I see one on the road, it makes me smile, and I know that a lot of like-minded enthusiasts also love seeing them on the road. So hopefully it's not just going to go into a off-road private event, track-only territory, but
Right.
really this is the only question. They will survive. If they're allowed on the public roads or not, that's really the only question.
No, I totally agree.
Yeah, I hope that's the case for sure. I mean, I got to imagine, like you said, that these cars are now investments and should appreciate. And I just can't see. I mean, I don't have a problem with electric cars, but I won't drive one personally because I'm an enthusiast as well, and I like to drive my cars. But I also kind of liken them to every other technology. I mean, as soon as you get the new iPhone, the next one's already being made, right? And so it's just always going to continue to get better and better. And so what does that do for your current iPhone, right? It becomes only worth a finite amount after so much time. So I just think that to focus that kind of technology on this type of vehicle is probably just misguided, and it should go towards the mass of the vehicles instead. Yeah,
I've spoken with a few. Just a case in point, I've spoken with a few LaFerrari clients who are dreaming of the day Ferrari will allow them to delete the battery.
Right.
It has to do with
Right.
it's not that they want more performance because the car would be lighter. They just want something that will survive for longer.
Right.
When you've invested so much money, the last thing you want to do is have an expiration date on the chassis in the shape of that battery, or that you replace the battery and pay, I don't know, 20% of the car's purchase price every few years just to get your battery swapped out. So I think that was a love affair with technology. That was a very kind of enduring flirt with technology that is now coming to an end, and people are realizing that truly timeless products, as you rightfully pointed out with the iPhone, cannot be tech dependent, because every year there is a next greatest and the next big thing coming out, and if you spent $3-4 million on a car last year, the last thing you want to do is feel disrespected and irrelevant because the next new big thing came out this year, and now you're stuck with the old one. So there needs to be kind of value proposition that is independent of technology, that is speaking directly to the heart, and that value should not be diluted. If anything, it should appreciate with time. These cars are sought after. They're made in limited numbers, and for someone who was lucky enough to get the model, the original model, they should always feel like they are in a possession of something very, very special that doesn't just age out of relevance.
Well said. Well said. Listen, I think we could go forever with asking questions, especially with you guys.
Oh my God.
But I think we're going to probably have to wrap it up here.
Yeah, but I mean, I always have a few fun questions
Yes,
and stuff
yes.
like that. So, okay, unlimited budget. What's the most absurdly unnecessary feature that you would each add to the car, if you could?
Why don't you start, Dean? I think you have a few.
I do. I would add a compartment for heels and purses.
Of course you would.
Yes, because this is missing. I think there are too few female designers in the car world, and they don't think of that. So, we always have the high heels. If you're driving, you take them off. They're near your feet,
Yes.
as is your purse. It's totally unsafe. And uncomfortable. I'd love to have a compartment where you could just
Put your
pack
heels
that away
in.
nicely.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
Right?
so,
It
Sasha,
makes
you need to
sense.
get on that.
I know.
I'm much more in the business of taking features out. That has been my mission for the last couple of decades. Is just, can we please narrow down the list of features to something that we actually need, and that has to do not just with cars but with everything around me. I don't like adding complications to things. They should be pure, simple, and do the one function that they're designed to do really, really well. That's how I see pretty much everything around me, and cars especially. Too many jacks of all trades. Less features, please.
Less features. Okay.
All right, good.
Okay, and then let's see. If there was a built-in karaoke machine in the car, what would the track be for each of you?
I'll go first. Again, there's a Fiona Apple song called Extraordinary Machine. And this is a song I lean on frequently. I think it's so applicable for NILU because it is an extraordinary machine. But in the song, Fiona talks about that being applied to her. So Fiona Apple is the extraordinary machine. I see myself as that too, like the NILU. She says in the song that treat me kind or treat me mean, I'll make the most of it. I'm an extraordinary machine. And this is, I think, the mantra of my life. I kind of have to roll with the punches, and I do that, I think, fairly successfully. So I'm going to go with that.
All right. I think we're going to have to overlay that on this.
I know. We're going to have to. I love that. Sasha?
Sasha, what's yours?
For me, most of my music is ridiculously brutal. And in case of this car, I already have the best source of music right behind the driver. So it anyway is almost a perfect match to my taste in metal. So the shriek and the growl of that 12-cylinder is all I need in the NILU.
You're like, you would never hear any music anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I didn't want to say that, but yeah.
No, it's okay. I love it.
Yeah.
And one last thing. If you two could do this all over again with all the challenges and everything that it goes into starting your own hypercar company, would you do it again?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I still wake up like every day realizing that I'm living my dream. I couldn't be happier. It comes with a crazy amount of challenge, but honestly, I wouldn't have it any other way. The sense of security that you get from having a 9-to-5 job is an incredibly false sense of security. And you also only live once, and if you don't shoot for the stars, you're going to live with regret. So I'm just a very happy person that I had the opportunity to work for the companies that I did, contribute what I did, learn what I did, and then turn that into, bringing my own vision and very soon a vision for the entire company to life.
Very inspiring.
I know. You're building an amazing legacy with NILU. I mean, really, I can't wait to follow y'all along your journey and see what else is coming down over the next several years. I know it's going to be exciting.
Yeah. So tell our viewers where they can look up information on your company, whether it be website or social media.
And any other pertinent information you want to share with everybody.
Yes, absolutely. So you can find us at nilu27.com. You can find us on Instagram, nilu27_official. Please follow us there. We're on LinkedIn as well with similar content. Please reach out. We make it a point to answer pretty much all fan mail or any other mail we get. Please stop by Las Vegas on November 1st. We're going to be there again with a new and improved car, so to speak. It's the same car, but it'll be a new spec. So check us out there, meet the team, come talk to us, say hi, and keep your eyes peeled because we're cooking up something exciting. So stay tuned.
I can't wait. Well, I'll be out there at Vegas, so I will be sure to get tons of content and share with all of our listeners and everything too. It'll be super exciting.
That's awesome. We're looking forward to seeing you again in person, Diane.
Yes, and y'all need to come to Texas whenever the car's ready to travel.
Absolutely.
I expect us to do something big here in Texas so we can show all the collectors here.
Can't wait to see it dive into that first corner at the Circuit of the Americas.
Oh my God, it's going to be so much fun.
Yeah. All right. Well, Diane, sign us off.
Yeah. Well, thank you everybody once again for joining us for another episode of My Supercar World. And we will see you next time.
Thank you, guys. Sasha, Inna, it was good to see you again.
Bye, y'all. Thank you so much.
Great talking to you guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
My Supercar World is produced by Post Oak Motor Cars, where opulence reigns supreme in the heart of Texas.